Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob and Grizzly. Yeah, there he is. And here we are, it's Tuesday. And you know what that means? It's time for messages from the spirit world. That's right. Well, I want to tell you guys, I'm getting this out a little late today. Psychic Bob's had a full day. I had a lot of personal business to take care of, paying bills and running errands and stuff like that. I had to go see my mom. By the way, Mom is doing great and she looks good. I'll take the camera over there soon. We'll have a film with her. But it's been so busy and, she's been in such a good mood. I've been forgetting to bring camera. But things are well with her. And today she had another intense physical therapy session. So she's a little tired. But she had a good day and I had a good time with her. Anyways, I'm here with little Boo Grizzly. You gonna say hi? There's the camera. Say hi. Hi. He's had a full day too. Well, here we are. It's time for messages from the spirit world. That's right. Oops, sit down here. Come on. You gonna sit down? Yeah, be good. There you go. Sit down. And, I told you guys that we'd have this today. And I told you also, if you come back, I'll tell you about my mystical pendant. Well, it's not really so mystical, but it is interesting. And I thought I'd give you a show here. Some of you may know what this is. I got this recently from a jeweler who specializes in vintage designer jewelry. This is, it's hard to see here, this is a Tiffany's pendant. It's from Tiffany and Company. And it says on it 925 T & Co. 1837. This is part of their 1837 line. I don't know if you guys know that, but they came out with a line to honor their founding, which was in 1837. And this is, it's hard to see here, it's got glare, but it just says basically T & Co., Tiffany and Company, 1837. It's done in sterling silver. The back side also has, made by Tiffany and Company. But this was a piece that they made a few years ago as part of their 1837 line. And I happened to find it through a vintage jewelry dealer. And I just love it. It's in flawless condition. And so anyways, just thought I'd wear a little Tiffany's today. Anyways, I am glad you guys are here. I don't know if I should stay down here on the floor or the chair. Anyways, we are going to do messages from the spirit world. That's right. And I'm so excited to be back with you guys. Actually, I think I'm going to sit in the chair. It's hard on my knees down here. Anyways, I hope you guys can still see me and hear me. I'm a little farther away, but you got more of me here. So we're going to do our messages. And, I get asked this all the time. Psychic Bob, how do I get on messages from the spirit world? Well, it's really, really simple. All you got to do is send me your question. Now, you can put your question in the box below this video. Just type your little question in the info box or the comments section. Yeah, put that in there. Or you can write to me at my private email, which is readings@robert-hickman.com. That will also be in the info box below, my email link. So either way. And people say, how much does it cost? Absolutely free. No charge to be on messages from the spirit world. This is kind of my community service. Now, for those of you who are new here, you may not know, but I am a full-time professional psychic medium. And what that means is I literally do this full-time. I'm a professional psychic. I read all day long for people. I read literally for people all over the world, every walk of life. And, if you have a pressing matter or, you want more than I can do here in messages, because here I can only give short messages because I have so many letters. If you might want to think about investing in a private reading. Private reading is a full hour, you and me one-on-one. And we cover everything. We're going to cover past issues, present issues, future issues. We're going to look at your spirit guides, who's around you in spirit. I'll bring over messages from deceased friends, family, loved ones. We're going to look at your past lives, see what your soul journey is. We're going to look at your current life mission. What are you here for? What's your life themes? What's your mission? And I also answer all your questions as well. So for those of you who have had a private session with me, I'm sure you can tell people below that, I really try to give a lot of information. Many people come to me and they say, Psychic Bob, we love your readings because you're so thorough and you're accurate and you cover an awful lot in an hour. You know, I've been to psychics. How many of you ever been to? You go in and they'll just say, you know, oh, your house is going to burn down. And then you say, well, what about that? I can't tell you anything else. Well, you know, I don't do that. I have a deal with the spirit people. We're going to get details. If your house is going to burn down, I'm going to find out when it's going to burn down, what's going to cause it, and if it can be prevented. So that's how I work. I try to be very thorough in my reading. So if you want to get on my schedule for a private reading, probably best way is call my office. Even though I'm not there, as you know, I'm out of town, I am getting the messages from the office. I am still doing phone readings and Skype readings while I'm away. So you can still have a session with me. My office number, 571-483-2112. We'll have that in the box below, 571-483-2112. So look in the info box below and you'll get that if you didn't get it. Well, we're going to jump into our letters. And before we do that, let's just all take a moment. Let's just center ourselves. And let's attune to the spirit world. All right. I hear my spirit guide, Fletcher. He's standing back here behind the chair. I can't ever get rid of him. Anyways, well, let's look at our letters. You going to help us tonight, Fletcher? He said, I'm only helping the Tubies. Okay, see, he likes you guys. All right, our first letter tonight is from Nigella for me. She's a longtime viewer here. Hi, Nigella. Nigella says, Dear Psychic Bob, I've been offered the opportunity to buy the house that I am currently renting. I love this little house. Do you see this purchase working out for me, or will I be moving again? Also, my daughter is pregnant. Do you see if she will have a boy or a girl? Thank you for your time, Bob. You know, hon, I got to tell you, in terms of the housing situation, this is really good time for you to really look at property. Right now, you know, there's a lot of Jupiter, Neptune influence just from an astrology side, which really means like a lot of blessing power, a lot of psychic energy power. So definitely you're going to really have an opportunity to draw on that. I would encourage you to do some magic, some rituals right now, literally this week, to set that in motion. I do feel, even as magic aside, that you have very strong chance. I do feel like you will get this. One of the things that Fletcher says, he says, the words is, he says, on a soul level, you've settled down. And so the universe is going to give you kind of a nest now. So I do believe this is the house where you're going to be, but enhance it with a little magic, okay? So I don't see you moving. I see you there, and I see a house coming to you, okay? So definitely, but strengthen that bond psychically through some magic. And I know you're a witch, so you can do that. As for your daughter, I keep getting pink bows literally floating in the air here. As I was reading that question, I'm like, all these pink bows. So I do believe there's a girl in spirit that's around her that's just waiting to come in and be born. Okay, so anyways, yay, you're going to have a nice house for your grandbaby to visit. Thanks for writing. Blessings to you. Hope that helps. All right, our next letter is from Wakil H. Pashayiwar. I believe it's an Indian name or Pakistani. Great name, Wakil H. Pashayiwar. And he writes, he says, Hi, Bob. I have strong fire, earth, and water, Neptune in my chart. I am very, very fearful and very competitive at the same time. Can you help me to get rid of all this fear and aggression? What do you pick up? How can I get rid of it fast? You know, Wakil, really good questions here. You know, I don't have your astrology, so I can't look at your astrology chart, but I'll tell you that, you know, that fire earth energy will bring you a lot of success in life. So we don't want to totally get rid of it, but we want to direct it in the right way. What's happening is the reason why you're having this aggression and this fear is that, you know, that water element, that Neptune, is actually making you very psychic. And what's happening is on a deeper soul level, maybe not a conscious level, you're tapping into past life energy. And I believe that in one of your past lives, you were killed very violently. I keep seeing a connection to Italy, and it looks like you may have been harassed and stalked and killed by the mafia. And I want to put this in the 1920s, 1930s in actually Italy. I believe you lived actually near Sicily, and you were also very much, you were not a criminal, but you were somebody who kind of got in on the wrong foot. You know, you borrowed some money, and then you were in debt to the mafia, and in the end they killed you. Now in this life you have a great ambition to succeed, so you don't have to borrow money. That's where that aggression comes from. It's actually based in the fear, because your fear, your water element's bringing up that past life memory, and in this lifetime you actually charted to have success. So you took on an incarnation that gave you that earth power, which will bring success, and that fire power. Now, how do we get that in balance? Really good question. How do we get rid of it? One of the things I would like you to do is I would like you to see if you can locate in your area a past life regression therapist. They will put you under hypnosis to access your past lives. It's been my experience that when we undergo a past life regression, and I used to do them myself years ago, that when people confront their past lives, literally it just like washes through them and cleans them, and they let go a lot of anxiety, a lot of phobias. It's very therapeutic, and I feel like you are coming into this life with some past life fear, really. And so your fear, your anxiety is, I'm not actually getting a what I want to call it, a medical condition, like a standard anxiety issue around you, but I do feel you're having past life trauma. And we can actually have, you know, a lot of people don't believe this, but we can have post-traumatic stress syndrome from past lives. And I've worked on cases where I had people, it's a long story, but I'll give you the short version. I had a couple bring a child to me who was going through night terrors, and they took them to every doctor in the world. They couldn't figure it out. Well, when they came to see me as a last resort, the funny thing is the parents did not believe in spiritualism or spirit guides or any of that, but they didn't know what to do, and they said, well, we'll try a psychic. Can't be any worse. Well, I diagnosed this kid as having post-traumatic stress syndrome from his past life, and he was actually killed during World War II. And once I helped the kid recognize that reality of what happened, it liberated him. And I told the parents, I said, your kid, he was only about 4 or 5 years old. I said, in the next month, you'll start to see a lessening of his anxiety, his aggression. Because he would literally wake up screaming in the middle of the night, tear up his room, and the next day not have any memory of it. And every doctor's test, I mean, you know, I always say work with doctors. I did say, you know, I hope you've taken all the doctors. They showed me all the medical stuff. And I said, yeah, they're not going to find it because it's post-traumatic stress from a past life. And once we walked this kid through reliving his past life, the lights came on. He realized, like, he didn't have to hold on to that. And it literally cured him. And the doctor called me and he said, how did you do this? We can't, the best psychiatrists can't figure out how to help this kid. And I said, well, he's had post-traumatic stress. And they said, not possible. He's had a really good life. His parents treated him well. I said, it's not from this life, it's past life. And the doctor said, I don't know about that. I said, well, you can't deny that it works and that he's healed. The doctor said, you're right. So I would like you to have a past life regression because it really is healing, and that's where a lot of this is stemming from, and I do see it healing you, okay? I wish I could help you. I don't do past life regression anymore. I just don't have the setup and the licensing right now for that. But there are many people all over the world who do that, and I would encourage that, okay? Anyways, I hope that helps a little bit. Thank you for writing. All right, our next letter is from Queen Nadine. Hello, Queen Nadine. Queen Nadine writes this, hi, Psychic Bob. I have an urgent question. A spirit seems to be tormenting my teenage son. It really scared him last night. it made weird noises directly in his ear, which really freaked him out. How do we get rid of this spirit? Thank you for reading this. Love you, Bob. Queen Nadine. Hi, Queen Nadine. Well, first of all, you're going to hate me for this, but your son is carrying a lot of psychic power. Now, he gets that from you, okay? Now, a lot of people don't know this, but I really do believe it, and I've explored this. I believe that psychic ability has a genetic component. Not in every case, but in this case, your son is carrying a lot of psychic power. You yourself carry a lot of psychic power. So it's interesting you say he's a teenager. This is usually the age where, between 12 and 18 is really where that really kicks in. So those teen years really highlight that ability. And, I started working as a psychic when I was a teenager. I was like 15. And I tell you, when you're young, it's so much easier to connect because you don't have a lot of filters like we do when we get older. Got two different issues here. One is him being psychic, and two is that spirit that's harassing him. In terms of him being psychic, I want you, first of all, and I know you, so I want you just to support him and tell him that he's not crazy, that this is just a reality that a lot of people experience. You can say even Psychic Bob's gone through this. He used to see and hear spirits when he was younger. Nobody believed him. But, I know you believe him. But it's still nice for him to have that reassurance, okay? Now, the next thing you need to do is we need to step down the vibration around him, particularly at night. I get a lot of activity around him at night. I feel like every time he's in bed, there's weird noises in the room. I'm literally getting flashes of light, like there's sparks going across the room or orbs. If he hasn't seen that, he'll see that soon because that's definitely around him. What I want you to do is get a cereal bowl, fill it with salt, and put that in his bedroom. Salt, just pure salt. It can be sea salt or table salt. And just dollar store table salt is great. I always go to the dollar store because it's pure salt and you can buy it in large quantities. Put a bowl, like a cereal-sized bowl of that, in his bedroom. This will help him get a better sleep. It grounds down the energy, and it blocks the spirits from absorbing power from him. It weakens them. Now, in terms of that spirit that's around him, I get a man, and I keep getting the name. It's like Slim, S-L-I-M, like Slim. This is a guy, it looks like he was a suicide victim. I want to put him as like 1930s, 1940s, looking at his clothes. And I don't think the house you live in is necessarily haunted. I think the spirit is simply attached to him. Looks like your son was walking recently near a property where this suicide occurred or where suicide spirits hang him. I don't think it was a graveyard. I think it was actually like an alley where somebody was murdered, and there's like a lot of negative spirits there. It's like a kind of literally a brick alleyway between buildings. He was near there. And it might have been a house that bordered with two houses, this space, but I'm getting properties. Like one feels like a brick building, one feels almost like a clapboard house. So it was between these two edifices where these spirits were. And they attached to him because he has a lot of light around him. What you want to do is, first of all, teach your son that he has the authority to speak to the spirits and tell them to leave him. In this world, we have control over the spirits. Even the most exalted gods, like, I got Fletcher, even though he's an advanced spirit, in this world, he has to do what I say. Now, in the spirit world, there's a different hierarchy. He'd be my boss there. But on Earth, it's understood we command the spirits. So, this spirit, though, as I said, dates from around 1930s. He's a suicide. He's a human person. He's an earthbound soul. I don't get a demonic entity. I think this is a human spirit. As I said, suicide, and he's earthbound. And earthbound means that he is not crossed over to the light and received healing. So what you want to do really with this is teach your son to say, I won't listen to you. I do not receive you. You must go. And if you keep the salt, in fact, you could put the bowl of salt in each room of the house. That would really make the environment uncomfortable for the spirit, okay? And start with that. I feel that's going to do a lot right there. And telling your son, first of all, that you affirm his reality He's not crazy. I can tell you he's not crazy. Because when I walk into his frequency, I'm getting a lot of purple light and lavender. It means he's an empath, and his light is really bright, which tells me he's definitely drawing in connections to the spirit where he's a natural medium. So start with using the salt. I want you to tell him that he has the authority to tell them to leave. Now, you know spirits can be unruly, especially troublemakers, so he may not leave right away. He may have to tell them that. But I feel within the next about 2 to 3 weeks, you'll have a breakthrough there, okay? If you run into more problems, let me know. I'll help you. But I think this will get us on the right path, okay? Anyways, hope that helps. Blessings to you and your son, your family. Thanks for writing. All right, our next letter is from AK Nation. Hello, AK Nation. Long-time viewer. AK Nation writes, says, Bob, I was wondering if you had any insights on my partner and I getting engaged. I thought everything was fine, and then he left me. Will he come back with the intention of wedding me? Also, anything about my career and guides. As always, love you and take care. XOXO. Hello, darling. Thank you for writing. You know, I have to tell you, it's interesting. When I step into the vibration around your partner, I'm getting around him a lot of gray light right now. Gray light tells me that he's feeling disconnected from his higher self. Our higher self is the spiritual self that allows us to do things like make connections, get married, follow a spiritual course. And marriage is a spiritual path. A lot of people don't realize that, but it is a form of spiritual service to get married. And I have to tell you right now, he is disconnected from his higher self. When you say, will he return with the intent of getting engaged? I have to tell you, yes, actually. Despite this negative reading around him, I do see an awakening. In terms of timing here, I want to watch in August. The month of August seems to be kind of a time where he's returning. I do get a sense of regret and repentance around him, so I do think he'll want to come back. But I have to tell you, you know, one of the things I would encourage you to do before you go forward with a marriage is visit with a counselor, because part of the struggle that I'm getting around him is not so much that he's against you or being married or rejecting you. It's that he does not know himself on some level. I feel like he's trying to figure out who he is, and somehow he's not understanding that you're part of that reality. And I think that this is a time of confusion. I also pick up somebody in his family, and I believe it's, I want to call it a sister, it's a female, it could be a cousin or a sister or aunt, but I'm getting a woman also who is messing with his head and saying, well, why do you want to get tangled up in a marriage or something? And I think that somebody's giving self-doubt to him. So a therapist will help him to speak out his fears, get his mind straight, and overcome a lot of that. So I do think he's going to need some counseling. I think spiritual counseling is also a very good option, because he needs to understand that on a soul level, you two are part of the same soul group and do have a kind of a contractual agreement. So that's why I'm saying I do see him coming back. On some level, he knows that, and I do feel he will awaken. But awakening's not just enough. It has to be awakening with the right balance. And I'm not trying to sound negative. I don't think you can fix this. I think you can help, but I do think you're going to need third-party professional intervention before you go forward. Also, I'd encourage you to work with some clergy. I'm an ordained minister, and so I'd be happy to help him with some of that spiritual stuff, understanding more about his journey. So if you want to have me help with that, I can. But I want you to watch the month of August. Seems to be a turning point around this, okay? In terms of spirit guides and career around you, I have to tell you, I keep getting Archangel Michael around you. He's definitely protecting you right now. And I keep being shown, it's interesting, a room with a lot of, it looks like computer screens on it. And I feel like that you're coming into a time where you're going to do something that has a technical side to it. What's interesting, that it has a lot of artistic energy. So I would like you to explore something connected to like graphic arts, graphic design. Could be animation even, like industrial animation or even entertainment animation. But I'm getting computers, I'm getting artistic, I'm getting animation. So I think there's a calling there for you, and I'd encourage you to explore that. I also see green light around you, which tells me you've got a lot of healing gifts. So I think that you can kind of do a lot of things right now, and I'd be open to all of that. But definitely call on Michael. He's working with you, okay? I hope that gives you a little help. Thank you for writing. Blessings to you. Okay. Well, guys, now here is the chance we're going to have, or time we come to where y'all get a chance for a surprise message. This is what we call spirit shoutouts. Now, spirit shoutouts are people that I receive messages for. They're not necessarily people who have written or had questions. It's like they might even write a comment, hey, Bob, checking in, and want to say hi. But as I'm reading through the comments, it's like a spirit speaks to me. It's like you got to give them this message. So I've asked the spirit people to be present as I read the comments, and if they have a message, they can break through. And I've given them permission to interrupt me. So here are some spirit shout-outs. I hope these make some sense and you guys understand them. My first spirit shout-out tonight is for Real Strategy Gamer, longtime viewer here. Real Strategy Gamer, I have to tell you, I received a message today from a spirit guide around you. He identified himself with the name of Philip, and he showed himself. He is dressed in kind of like a 1920s style suit, the stiff collars, and it's very 1920s looking. And it's interesting because he said that when he was on Earth, he was a race car driver. And he says, I know how to make things move fast. And he says to tell you, please keep going, let go of fear. He said, you're not going to crash and burn, and you're not going to fail. And this Philip kept indicating that you're at a good point of transition where there's a lot of growth and career opportunities. And I want you to also watch the month of September. I keep getting some connection to a business opportunity. Will be an endorsement around you, some sort of advertising endorsement. Could be for your YouTube channel or to have you endorse a product line or something like that. So Philip is going to be working with you and bringing some breakthroughs. But he keeps telling me, he says, tell them not to give in to fear, let go of the fear. They're not going to fail. Okay, so whatever you're working on, just charge forward right now because you've got a lot of success. And Philip's working with you. Anyways, I hope that makes some sense. All right, our next spirit shout out is for Billy Mayer. Hey, Billy, I got a very interesting message came through for you. I received a message from a guide around you. He gave me the name of Suresh, and he said that he's from the Pleiades star system. And he says that he's coming in to work with you. And he says that he's, let me see, I can't read the writing here. Suresh said that he is reconnecting you to your past. And he says in 2019 there will be an opportunity to move to Mexico. He says that he wants you to explore issues connected to political asylum. Okay? He also says that he's leading you to travel, and he specifically says Machu Picchu. He says in Peru, and he says you've been there before, you have a past life connection to it. And he says this will also occur in 2019. Now, I didn't get the sense that you're actually living in Peru long term. I think you'll visit it, but I think you'll have your home base in Mexico. But they're asking me talking about political asylum, so you might want to research that, okay? And Suresh says that he's opening legal and financial doors for you. He also asked me to talk to you about financing and money through, it's like art, like photography particularly. You may have an opportunity to do some photography while you're traveling and actually sell it professionally. So I don't know if you do anything with that, but they're saying they want you to explore photography. It's like you're going to capture images and see things that are beautiful in your travels. This will bring a source of income for you. So 2019, it won't be until the new year, is a time of powerful transition. So I think in the next year, 2019 is when this is all going to happen. But your guide's name is Suresh, S-A-R-E-S-H, Suresh, okay? So I hope that gives you a little help. And anyways, let me know if it makes sense. Thanks for writing. All right, our next letter is for Spirit Shout, I should say. It's for Maud Matilda H. Yeah, hi Maud Matilda H. Listen, I got to tell you, I got a message here for you from Archangel Raphael. And Archangel Raphael said that he's working with you and your mom for healing. So that you've got an archangel. He said that it's your mother's time to heal, not to leave the earth. So there's not going to be any death in the family now. And there's also another spirit guide that's around you and also your mom named Glenda. And Glenda's dressed like an old style nurse. You remember in the old like 1940s and 50s how they wore the white peaked caps, you know? Well, Maud Matilda's around you, and she is one of your, Glenda is around you, Maud Matilda. And Glenda is one of your spirit guides working with you and your mom. She's kind of a nurse to help both of you get through this time. So, Raphael and Glenda. Anyways, hope that helps. Thanks for being on my channel. You rock. Oh my gosh, guys, I just saw the time. I don't know where the day goes. I tell you, it's been a full day. But I wanted to bring the messages to you. And listen, I hope you'll help me out. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends. Hit subscribe, be part of our channel. We would love for you to be here. You guys are the best. I love you. Listen, keep it here at Spirit Channel. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and that means Wiccan Wednesday. I don't know what we're going to do. It depends on the weather, but we're going to have some fun. So make sure to be here. We'll see you then. Thank you again for all your prayers and your support, and I'm glad to be here. Next week, of course, we'll have another messages from the spirit world. And until tomorrow, may you always blessed be.